Hey, welcome back to Left 4 Dead Garage. Let me just start out with what you're about to see. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've only made a few of these things, and before this actual panel, we'll call it, all I made was a couple of doodads with this machine. So, and another thing, sometimes things are just so bad, even when your skills aren't where you want them, you can improve on certain situations. Let's just say that. So, and unfortunately, sometimes these situations are purchased and you don't know that until, well, you own it. So what I've got here is I've got the 38 Ford still, and it has got something going on. I don't know what all this, why it's done this way, but I feel like I can probably make it better than what it is. And thankfully, I've got a guy that's just like, do what you can do. I don't care what you do. So, and whatever I do, I'm going to try my best to make it as best as I can do. This is probably not making sense, but let me just show you. So, this is what we got going on here. So apparently, it had a different kind of gas tank. So I Googled this part number. This is for 73 through 76 CJ5 Jeep. So apparently it used to come in here or in there to here to, I don't know why this tank and what in the world was going on right here. Like, to me, I think speaker holes, but they're so shallow, why? And then torched out. Unfortunately, it's got this sway going on, so it's not level, which that makes what I want to do kind of tough. And then it's had some stuff welded in here. Like, I kind of ground this off, and then it had some nuts welded here. I don't really know what the nuts were for, and I cut those off. I probably need to vacuum this other stuff up. But what we're going to attempt is some sort of panel system right here. So this goes back to several months ago when I had the bright idea that I needed to purchase a bead roller. So I put out a feeler to a guy that's a local guy to me, and he's like a fabrication wizard. Like, I mean, this stuff he does is unreal. And I asked him about a down and dirty bead roller class, and that led into, what are you looking for? And why don't you ride by here and look at my old machine? So instead of spending $1,400, I got a deal on a $1,500 or $1,400 machine. So it worked out. And, you know, if I have questions, he's just a text away. So what I've got here is a Baileigh. Couldn't tell you the model, done forgot, but it's a big one, right? The only thing I don't have, and I wish I did have, I wish I had a table. And after, like, something small like this isn't a big deal. You can kind of work with it, but anything bigger than that, you really need a table. So I'm either going to look at buying a table or maybe building a table. Sometimes it's just easier for me to buy than build because I have other things to do. But it came from Tarbush Fabrications. You should look him up. Does tons and tons of crazy stuff. So like I said, I've only got a few dies, some of which I'll probably never use and don't know how to use. And I have 1/4 inch bead die. So that's what we're going to do. So like I said, this probably is not going to be a how-to. This is going to be how I scrap a lot of material, which is okay because at some point I'm going to have to scrap this stuff and learn anyway. So why not try to help a buddy out and see what I can come up with. And originally I was not going to do this video because this could be embarrassing. So, but I decided to, well, hey, why not? Content's content. If you want to watch me fail, then cool, that's fine with me too. So I've already started on this panel, and since this panel, I've learned a lot from yesterday. And it's just the simple, I stepped in 2 inches, I stepped in 5 inches, I think, and this will be the top piece. I don't have a way to bend or break sheet metal that long. Along with this bead roller, I've also had the bright idea to where I felt like I bought a 24-inch box and pan brake and an English wheel. So I don't really know why I bought the English wheel, but it was an oddity at Harbor Freight. Those things have been discontinued, and my Harbor Freight happened to have one, and it was pretty cheap. And honestly, I see them on Marketplace selling for more than what I bought that one for, so even if I don't use it that much, get rid of it. But I would like to have some reason to use this stuff since I bought it. Anyway, so don't have a way to bend or break 48-inch pieces. This is 47 inches long. So what I did is I went to Tractor Supply and I overpaid for this aluminum angle, and that's what I'm going to use for my step. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rivet to that, and I've left enough to where the next panel will be flush underneath this panel. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's kind of what I'm going to do. Get this one fitted. Unfortunately, I should have bought some aluminum flat bar, and what I could have done is I could have really fudged this back here. I could have used a flat bar to make it level and then screwed the aluminum to the flat bar, or the flat bar to the corners, and maybe something in the middle, let it float. But I also forgot to get black silicone, so I may go back and get some aluminum flat bar. I don't think I have any, but I'm pretty sure I don't have any. So, like I said, this is a bad situation, and I feel like my skills are not that bad, so we can improve it in one way or another, and it's a learning opportunity. I try not to miss learning opportunities. So, let's get into it. All right, I've made a little progress. So I've got this piece, and then I had some like half-inch aluminum angle, which is wildly overpriced by Tractor Supply, and unfortunately I need another piece, so I have to go back and get that. So I've got this piece. I put a piece of angle back there. That's why I need another piece, because you see this, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a slope or a swag in the middle there. So I'd run me a piece of angle across the back side just to kind of make it rigid, and then I've got a plan to screw it down, but not like cinch it down, just make sure it doesn't go anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this drop down piece here. I'm going to come down 4 inches. I'm going to probably have to hand cut because of this mess here. I kind of tried to hammer this back with the body hammer and clean up some stuff. I think I can probably get that kind of beat back a little bit, because you can see I don't know if you can see, but it doesn't really match. So maybe it's forgiven. So I'm going to make this drop down piece, and then we'll come across here, and then hopefully, I don't know, then we'll make this piece and somehow connect it here. I've got, this stuff was in the trunk. I don't know what it was for. There was 2 pieces of this, so maybe this was their plan. So I just notched it for that. I'll attach this somehow. I'm going to figure out a better way to hold this gas tank. I got a kind of a plan. Maybe use the all thread, but I got some tubing that I'll stick in there. That way it can really tighten it down, and it'd be nice to level it up too. So, but right now let's make this piece. I've already got it cut, and then actually just use the English wheel. I guess I probably could have showed you that. So I'm using some Eastwood shears, like electric shears, to cut this, and it kind of makes it kind of wonky, and the edge is a little ripply. So I just lightly ran it through the English wheel on the edges, and it flattened it out pretty well. I mean, this is only aluminum, like 32 thou, I think. So I don't know if I can do it one-handed, but I just kind of lightly ran it through on the crown of the wheels, and you can do it either way, I'm pretty sure, and it'll try to get some of this bow out of it. But when we hit it with this bead roller, it's probably going to make it do some funny curl up stuff from the videos I've seen. And I only have a 1/4 inch bead. I think I said that. So I think that adds to the distortion, I guess is the proper word for that. A table, like I said, would be nice, and a fence. That way, like a guide, I can bump up against it, and I don't really have to worry about, like, it is tough. So I got my lights on here, that way I can see, but it is really tough to go straight, and especially me trying to do this for like really the first time, it doesn't go well. And then silver Sharpie is supposed to be the thing to write on this, but it's it doesn't work well either. So, and then I've shook the Sharpie to try to get the ink down, and well, I shook the Sharpie everywhere and got it all over me. But, oh well. So let's put this, and then I took blue tape and throw it in the floor and beat it up. So I took blue tape to know where to stop at. I'm just going to do one straight bead down the middle. I'm not going to do like the other one because I can't make the radius, the turn in here. I don't have those skills. And then I think it said like a beginner deal, like minimum of 2-inch radius. So this is actually a spray can. It's what I used to get my radius. I made my lines and then I laid the spray can in there where it matched. And I just traced it. And it's tough to make that turn. So none of this is easy. So keep in mind, I have no idea what I'm doing and just sharing it with you. I also seen where you probably need to keep up with how many cranks down once you get your material touching. So I tend to forget everything. I'm gonna write 3 right there. That way I know as soon as the material it's touched off basically at 0, we'll say 1, 2, 3, and we'll go with that. That way the bead depth is hopefully uniform. So I don't exactly have the greatest area to do this because this machine is pretty big. I'll try not to stand in the way, but you may not want to see this, so I don't know. And another thing, like the start, I believe it has something to do with the center of where your die bolt's on, but I don't know if it's dead center or what. Like, all right, so we're at 0. You can feel it kind of just bottoms out. I don't know where I'm at as far as my start goes. I'm going to use my tape as a guide. So I'm about halfway there. Now I don't remember if I'm supposed to just crank this thing and go, but we're going to, since this isn't too hard to recreate, let's see. So 1, that's 1, 2, that's 3. All right, get my pedal over here. This thing will roll probably twice as fast as this, but it's probably not a good idea for me to do that. And see, here's where the table would come in handy. Matter of fact, I think tonight while I'm sitting around supposed to be editing a video, I think tonight we'll be shopping for a table. I can't see deadly now. All right, so that's a bead. See how it gets it all wacky? I think you can run it back through the English wheel and it'll relax it. Let's try. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure you can see me. I'm just gonna go down this side. All right, so that did nothing. Maybe I dreamed that up. It'll be okay. We can rivet it pretty flat, and I'm pretty sure you can kind of manipulate it as you go because it is just thin aluminum. So next step, I'm gonna rivet this to this angle here. And we'll have our drop down piece, and then we'll have our drop down piece, and then we'll connect to the bigger piece. And, kind of winging it, to be honest with you. You can probably tell that, but yeah. Let's see what we can come up with. It can't get any worse, it really can't. All right, I'm sure there's a method to keeping this stuff flat without putting 2 million pop rivets in it, which I may have to leave the center and then drill out these two and try to let it settle a little. Back there I'm not so much worried about because it's got that fabric interior button tuck whatever that'll probably hide some of it. I mean, I could go back and put a rivet right here and get it flat. Well, I'll take that back. I've got long sheet metal screws, or a number 8 sheet metal screw that I plan to, since it's not level, just run it down enough to where it starts to touch and it keeps it where it's at and it's not rattling. That's my plan for back there. Probably 4 of them. One here, here. And then I thought about doing the same thing up here. See, I've got some wavies. I could drill these out again. I don't want to goober this stuff up. It will probably waller the coating off of it. It's worse over here. So, and then I was like, well, when I push this panel up against it, I could always try to keep it nice and tight. So I'll probably never be able to do that. Not with just, that tiny table and me. And then back here I've decided that I bought this stuff to actually work on this shop, if you want to call it that, glorified carport. So what I'm planning to do with this is I got some more of this. I'll cut me a piece to fit in there and sit roughly right on top of that tubing, and then we'll do us another little piece here, kind of like that, to hide that. I may still have to go to Tractor Supply. Like I seamed this one, and then back behind here is another piece to kind of, well, actually it's on the bottom, so to kind of keep it from flopping. But I do need to go to Tractor Supply because I need some more of this for like little tabs or whatever, because hey, I've got to cut around this little bead. That's kind of like a bead roll. And then I need something to put in here to screw this down to, or rivet it down to, or something. So it's kind of working out how I want. I'm probably not going about the right way to do it, but that goes back to never done this. So could I YouTubed it and asked 1,000 questions to a million people? Yeah, but sometimes just see what happens. So this top piece, or this last big piece, it actually has to cut at an angle. So it's 46 up here, and then it goes like 44 and a half back here. So it's got a slope, and then I'm hoping, and I don't think it'll happen, miss this mess here. So I don't know, and then I don't know what this goes to, but I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it and then reroute it. I need to patch this or put a plate over that, and same with this right here, I need to fix that. So here's some newspaper from 1980. I don't know where the date's at. Oh, here we go. There's 83, and the car when it was purple. So it was stuffed up. Let me see this one. Like an artifact now. But that's the plan, and we'll cut another one, and we'll do some sort of probably similar to this panel bead in that one. Hope I can make the turns because it'll be closer. This turn was pretty sloppy. This one's not so bad. That one's okay, but that one right there, I probably got ahead of myself, and then I had to force the turn. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. If it looks too bad, throw it in the scrap pile, and I'll go get some plywood or something. I don't know. All right, so I got this panel here laid out. Trying not to touch the camera because there's been a Sharpie incident. Yesterday when I made the other panel, I left the protective plastic on here, and the Sharpie, silver Sharpie is supposed to be the way to go, but it would not write worth a hoot. So last night I was like, well, if I work on the bottom side anyway, then it doesn't matter. I'll just take the plastic off. Well, it equally is as crappy as the other. I thought about laying it out with painter's tape and using a black Sharpie, but I don't know if the thickness of the tape would have any effect on my bead. I guess I need to do that on like a test panel. So I've just been casually and every now and again shaking the Sharpie, and apparently I had the lid loaded full of Sharpie ink, and then, well, it looks like I've had an anti-seize problem, and it does say store with cap down, so I've been putting it in my pocket like that. But anyway, so I stepped in 2 inches, and then I went to 5 inches. So this will be like the top panel. This will be my outer bead, and then my radius for my corners. I just use the spray can. This is all stuff I found on the internet. So there's my radius for my corners. This may be a little small for a 1/4 inch bead, but it's all I've got. And see what we can do. I did cut that thing at an angle. It's a 3/4 of an inch taper on each side to fit in there. It does fit, so we're good there. So I'm gonna run in and eat first, and then we're gonna cross our fingers and hope I can do this in one shot. Also, this stuff's been sat outside, and then the last storm we had, I had it on the small trailer, and it blew all my aluminum off the trailer, so it's kind of dinged up. And then I had a little oopsie with the English wheel right here, and I might have put a little mark in it. So since it's not that great of a material, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple cans of rubberized undercoating or bed liner or something. And once I get it all together and my seams sealed and everything, I think I'm going to undercoat it all. I believe that'll hide where I'm not that great at it, and it'll be functional as a trunk. So we'll just heavy on the seams and in the corners, and it'll kind of blend it all together. And I feel sure, and I feel pretty confident that it'll look okay. It's got to be better than what's in there. So that's my plan. Typically you don't hide bead rolled stuff, but typically you got somebody who knows what they're doing. So I'm gonna go eat, and we'll come back in here and we'll run this thing through the bead roller.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Products, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
I'd like to put some locking casters on this thing. That way I can roll it easy, because it doesn't slide well at all. So, but we'll make do. Definitely going to look into a table. I can buy the one from Baileigh for $5.50. It's a little expensive, but I don't know. Maybe I should look into making one. All right, we're going to do this outside bead first. All right, so there's 0 on our deal. Technically, I think I'm supposed to, I probably said this, feed this thing and crank down on it. All right, so there's 0, basically. One, 2, 3. This is tough. Having a fence would help me tremendously keep this straight, because I am by no means doing well with
keeping it straight. Probably gonna run into the camera. Pretty much screwed this one up. I don't even want to look at that corner down there. Yeah, it's pretty monkeyed up. Any of these corners, I definitely got too tight of a radius for my skills. I'll have to find me something a little better. I don't know if I can fudge that. Alright. Yeah, that looks terrible. I mean, none of this looked great, but it doesn't look that bad. Probably not something, okay, it looks like crap. It's definitely wobbly. May just use it. I don't like it. But having no fence and a tight radius, definitely a bad idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this center one out and try like crazy to do a better job than I did here. And I'm sure what we end up with.
let's see if we can get this knocked out today. I don't know where I left off. Let's show you here. So I got this thing riveted together. I went and got more of this little 3/4 inch angle this morning. Tractor Supply did not have any black silicone. I wasn't going to go clear across the other world to Lowe's. Both hardware stores in town were not open when I came through at 9 o'clock. O'Reilly's had seam sealer, so that's what we're going to use. They have black seam sealer. I have some seam sealer here. I don't know how old it is, and I was afraid to start using it and then create a mess and then be in a mess. So my next step here, I'm going to patch this crap here, and then this is all butchered up so high that I think I'm just going to drop down just a tad, like a strip or something. I don't know. This thing right here is in the way big time. This little rolled area. If they'd left me a flange kind of deal, and I could have done that. I don't know. I may lay it back in there, and anyway, we'll fix this one and this one. Hope for the best on that one. I've got, they're in the truck, but I got 4 cans of rubberized undercoating. Probably should have just looked at buying a Raptor liner kit, but it would have been a lot of wasted material. So I guess we're going to drag out everything else that I bought while I was, this junk is what I bought while I was at the beach, basically, bored, because I don't do vacation well, or sitting on the beach, or sitting still well. So ended up, this was a marketplace buy. It works fantastic. I think it's a Vevor. This was new. I think that was a board beach buy. There's that thing I was talking about, the box and pan brake. Yeah, so I got in trouble while I was at the beach because I was standing there buying junk, or sitting there buying junk. Anyway, so I got me a 6x6 piece cut out. I have not showed those shears. Let me show you what I'm using to cut this. It works pretty okay. I mean, there's probably a better solution, but these were also another Eastwood got carbide, replaceable carbide bits. Now, went ahead and just bought a second set of those replaceable jaws, or whatever you're going to call it, just to have them. I'll probably lose them before I need them, somewhere over there. But I figured might as well get them. So I'm going to shear this piece out right here with this little guy. I would like to have a bigger one. It would be nice to be able to make, 12-inch swipes or whatever, or maybe the biggest one I could cut, whatever that is allowed, 24 inches. I think that's what this thing is. Yeah, bend width 24. So that thing is rather nice for no more than it cost. So I'm gonna lop this thing off, and then we'll put us a 90-degree flange bend on that. So I'll put you on tripod. Other than just playing around with this junk, I have not really built anything. This little foot here is kind of handy because it helps you keep everything straight. Can't really see very well with this either. I need more light in here. There we go. I've got too much stuff sitting around to do all this. So we'll take it over here. We'll mark us a line in that region and bend us a little 90-degree lip. So here's the old piece. It's not 90 like I thought. I'm glad I looked. This is roughly 75 degrees. So 75 degrees, I guess you could get real specific with it and put the angle, the digital angle finder on there. So it looked about, I kind of eyeball measured it. This doesn't really matter. So now my piece probably isn't square cut, so there's that. Square to this, and it looks pretty good with my scribed line. Let's I'm gonna cut this thing on. So let's go, what'd I say, 75? If we screw it up, we screw it up. Pretty close. See there? Close enough. So we got that piece there. If I had a set of flat dies for that English wheel, you could really get this thing back flat, and if I ran, or when I do run off track, it won't put the dips in it. Maybe I need to look at finding a set of those. All right, well, let's go out there and stick this in. All right, I'm gonna finish this on my phone because either I didn't video the end of this or I deleted it. I can't remember. Both of those are very possible. So I'm gonna close out the old 39, what is this thing? I think I said 38 in the video. The 39 Ford. So, got the trunk done. Let me show you where we kind of wrapped up. You had a good idea of like where I was headed with everything. I feel like maybe not. So, this is the final product. Several things I wish I would have done different, but like I said, learning experience. So, take that for what it is. I don't know. This is what we ended up with. So I did I notched that deal, that square tubing, that 1-inch tubing. It's right here, and then this is a piece of that aluminum angle, and there's the panel I patched. That's the piece that I broke or bent, whatever. I don't know what you call it. That I put the angle bend on, and then that was the big mess from where they had all that cut out. And then it's all seam sealed. Wish I'd have went back with something and kind of schmoozed the seam seal out a little bit, but I don't know. It took me entirely too long to do that, but back to, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I guess it kind of goes hand in hand. Anyway, the next task on this car is cutting the control arms, and I guess I'll share that disaster with you too, because yet again, never done that. So hey, why not? So we're going to try to correct that. Why in the world this thing has so much camber? I can't figure this out. So anyway, thanks for watching Left Dead Garage. We'll see you on the next one.